Byron Donalds clears up the record on Hakeem Jeffries, King Liar, and the Biden administration. They're, of course, talking race and trying to manipulate blacks because they think you're stupid. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. Part of why we're happy is Byron Donalds brings out some truth straight, sets the record straight, does some pushback. This is necessary. This is how you do it, guys. Don't stand there and take it from Democrats. Democrats, they have the biggest racist record of Jim Crow. That wasn't a Republican position. That was Democrats. Well, let's unpack this together.
Mr. Speaker, it has come to my attention that a so-called leader has made the factually inaccurate statement that black folks were better off during Jim Crow.
That's the biggest lie, first of all, that he's implying Byron Donalds said as a general statement, all black folks were better off under Jim Crow. Now, to my friends who don't know what Jim Crow is, I looked it up on Wikipedia just to give us a little help. Look, Jim Crow laws were state and local laws introduced in the southern United States by Democrats in the 19th and early 20th centuries that enforced racial segregation. Jim Crow being a pejorative term for an African American. It's what they'd call them all. They'd go, hey, Jim Crow. Such laws remained in force until 1965 when they were removed. So that's the period of time. Sometime in mid-1800s, Civil War, right? To mid-65, 100 years of Jim Crow. And the Democrats keep rolling this out because they think you're dumb. They think they own the word Jim Crow too. They love throwing that thing around. Now let's get to Byron Donalds' first response.
America, Joe Biden's campaign is lying to you once again, and they're gaslighting. Now they're trying to say that I said black people were doing better under Jim Crow. I never said that. They are lying.
Yeah, that's his claim. They're lying. That shouldn't surprise anyone that they're lying. They would lie to make any point to gain power.
But why would you be surprised? Because they always lie. This is the same Joe Biden that said, if you don't vote for him, then you ain't black. The man is a liar. Sorry, just call it what it is.
That's an outlandish, outrageous, and out-of-pocket observation. We were not better off when a young boy named Emmett Till could be brutally murdered without consequence because of Jim Crow.
Okay, now this is all Hakeem Jeffries is going to do. By the way, he will be Speaker of the House if you kick Mike Johnson out and we lose the majority. That Hakeem Jeffries is Speaker of the House. Now he's going to make this same false argument throughout his entire speech on the floor. What he's saying is that first he said Byron Donalds said that we were better under Jim Crow. And now all Hakeem Jeffries has to do is bring out every sin ever committed under Jim Crow and say, that's what Byron Donalds meant by what he said. And Byron Donalds going to claim it. He said, but he's going to go on over and over. So he does Emmett Till. Okay, Emmett Till was this kid who had bragged about going out with a white woman, and a bunch of white Democrats came and killed him. And largely the funeral went unnoticed until his mother posted pictures of his open casket, beaten open casket, and put them all over the South. And it started a huge civil rights backlash. That's why it's not immoral for people to hold up those signs in front of Planned Parenthood. Yeah, get those pictures out, because when you tell the truth about these things, people can properly respond. Oh, I'm here to teach you guys, folks. Welcome to Doug in Exile. Subscribe.
We were not better off when black women could be sexually assaulted without consequence because of Jim Crow.
What I said is that you had more black families under Jim Crow. And it was the Democrat policies under HEW, under the welfare state, that did help to destroy the black family. That's what I said.
What Byron Donalds said is absolutely true. That's just a fact. You can go back and look at the statistics. Thomas Sowell did a lot of this work. Under Jim Crow, there were more intact black families. That is, you know what's even worse than the racist laws of Jim Crow? Modern day feminism and blowing apart the family that removes black fathers so that black fathers have no incentive to stay, have a government come in and pay and be the daddy. Okay. So you have fatherless kids. an epidemic. You have black families completely obliterated today. That's all Byron Donalds is saying, is that you had more dads raising their sons under a terrible regime of Jim Crow. And that's an indictment of how bad Biden and how bad liberal feminist policies are to the structure of the black family.
We were not better off when people could be systematically lynched without consequence because of Jim Crow.
And I also said you're seeing a reinvigoration of black families today in America, and that is a good thing.
As low as 3,000, as many as 18,000 blacks lynched under all of these racist policies, okay? You have more black death in 1 week of Planned Parenthood in America. Just let that statistic stand in. Who would be more pleased with that statistic of, like in New York, 50% of the unborn blacks will not see the light of day alive. 50% of unborn blacks don't get to live in modern day New York. Would you rather live under Jim Crow but get to have a name and live and have life? Or would you rather have all the freedom in the world under modern day New York feminism and end your life before you're ever given a name?
We were not better off when children could be denied a high quality education without consequence because of Jim Crow.
Thomas Sowell goes into this again. The kids had a better education then when they split them up. By the way, they wanted to bring in charter schools in New York, and it was the unions that stopped black achievement in charter schools when they tried to get the money to follow the student, because black charter schools, the kids' test scores go through the roof, and Democrats fight it because they're beholden to unions. And then they end up protecting mediocre schools, mediocre scores, low performance black students. And they had to lower the standards getting into university and passing the bar and getting passing medical exams to make up for their failing schools.
We were not better off when people could be denied the right to vote without consequence because of Jim Crow.
I'm just going to sit here and let this one roast on its own. Who tried to deny the vote if a black man wanted to vote for Trump? And which party tried to take Trump's name off the ballot? So who's denying who you want to vote for?
How dare you make such an ignorant observation?
Yeah, you're an idiot. You're an idiot and a moron. In fact, I think Hakeem Jeffries only got his job because he's black. I think Byron Donalds got his job because he's brilliant. That's the difference between Democrats, because Hakeem Jeffries, this whole argument is completely irrational and beneath you. And Byron Donalds clearly got his job because he's freaking brilliant.
So don't listen to the lies from the Biden administration. I know what I said, and I'll say it straight to camera. They got to run to the Philadelphia Inquirer to move their lies.
You better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Oh, did you invent that, Hakeem Jeffries? You're so clever. Here's Byron Donalds.
Joe Biden does not care about black people. He never has. He cares about power, first, second, and third. They can go somewhere with all that. See ya.
Oh, I'm Doug in Exile.